Coca-Cola has long been a household name, but have you ever wondered about the mansions behind the brand? Hi everyone, Ken here. Today we're cracking open an ice cold Coke and stepping back in time to uncover the Candler family's many mansions. Hit that subscribe button and let's explore this house. In 1886, Atlanta pharmacist John S. Pemberton created a sweet, caramel-colored brain tonic that he named Coca-Cola. Pemberton marketed it as a cure-all elixir for headaches and fatigue. The drink's early success was modest, but its future would soon be shaped by another pharmacist, Asa Griggs Candler. From 1888 to 1891, Candler acquired the Coca-Cola formula and brand from Pemberton and his partners for a total of about $2,300. By 1892, Asa Candler had incorporated the Coca-Cola Company and begun transforming the fizzy remedy into a serious business. Candler proved to be a visionary marketer. He blanketed Atlanta with coupons for free Coca-Cola and painted the product's logo on store awnings and delivery wagons. These early advertising blitzes worked. By 1895, Coca-Cola was sold in every U.S. state and territory. Candler's flair for promotion and expansion boosted syrup sales nearly tenfold within a few years, and he soon quit the pharmacy trade to focus entirely on the soft drink. Under his leadership, the company built its first dedicated headquarters and syrup plant in Atlanta in 1898, then expanded to Dallas, Chicago, and Los Angeles by the turn of the century. In 1899, Candler even sold the bottling rights to Coca-Cola for just $1, a famous deal that allowed independent bottlers to accelerate the drink's spread nationwide. As Coca-Cola profits soared, Asa Candler emerged as one of Atlanta's leading businessmen and philanthropists. He invested in real estate and banking, developing the upscale Druid Hills neighborhood and founding Central Bank and Trust. In 1906, he built the Candler Building, a 17-story steel-framed skyscraper that was briefly Atlanta's tallest structure and a proud symbol of his company's success. He gave generously to his Methodist church and in 1915 donated $1 million in land to bring a small Methodist college named Emory up to Atlanta. The new Emory University benefited enormously from the Candler family's patronage, earning the nickname Coca-Cola U for its ties to the Coca-Cola fortune. In 1916, Asa Candler entered public service, winning an election as reform mayor of Atlanta. Wishing to avoid conflicts of interest, he stepped back from daily management of Coca-Cola that year, effectively handing control of the company to his children while he tackled the city's finances. By this time, the Candlers had firmly established themselves among the South's richest families, and their wealth was reflected in the magnificent mansions they built across Atlanta. First, we'll take a look at Callan Castle, a red brick Beaux-Arts-style mansion in Atlanta's Inman Park, the first great house that Coca-Cola built. Completed in 1904, after 2 years of construction, this was Asa Candler's private residence during the height of his business reign. After leaving Callan Castle, Asa moved to a second magnificent home in Druid Hills, a new mansion at 1500 Ponce de Leon Avenue, a wide, tree-lined thoroughfare on Atlanta's east side. This move reflected the northward shift of Atlanta's elite. Druid Hills, designed by famed landscape architect Frederick Law Olmsted, was emerging as an exclusive enclave of winding drives and manor homes. Next, we'll take a trip over to Callanwald, a 27,000 square foot Gothic Tudor mansion originally set on a lush 27 acres. This was the home of Asa Candler's eldest son, Howard. Built between 1917 and 1921, Callanwald was Howard Candler's statement of success and family heritage. Its very name pays homage to Candler ancestry. Callanwald combines Callan, the Irish locale for the Candler forebears, with the Old English word for woods, wold. Situated on Briarcliff Road in Druid Hills, just a stone's throw from the new Emory University campus, the estate represented a new chapter for the Candlers in the 1920s. Howard had followed his father into both the Coca-Cola business and civic leadership. He had been a vice president at Coke since 1906, and when Asa stepped aside to be mayor, Howard became president of the Coca-Cola Company. With his newfound status, Howard turned to architect Henry Hornbustle, who was concurrently designing Emory's campus, to plan an extraordinary family home. The result was Callanwald, a mansion of 42 rooms blending late Gothic revival and arts and crafts influences, complete with steep gables, stone arches, and elaborate craftsmanship in wood and stained glass. The estate's grounds were designed to be park-like, in harmony with Olmsted's vision for the area. They included formal gardens, a tennis court, and a large in-ground swimming pool. To enter the mansion, we'll pull around to the porte-cochere and begin making our way indoors. This leads us through double doors into the vestibule, crowned with a ribbed groin vault of carved stone. We'll follow this through the pointed Gothic arch to find the stair hall, continuing with half-height wainscoting set below stone block walls arranged in a Versailles pattern. Turning around, we see the grand staircase behind another pointed arch, gracefully ascending below a leaded stained glass window. As we venture into the living room, the ceiling opens to a coffered vault soaring above windows encased in grooved stone. To get a good sense of scale, we can see how blown out the proportions are when comparing the height of the fireplace's mantle to the visiting Emory students. From here we'll mosey into the library, where built-in bookshelves are embedded within rich wood wall panels below a painted plaster frieze. Then in stark contrast, we come across the dining room, finished out with neoclassical motifs painted in light colors. The breakfast room, however, blends more with the Tudoresque styling of the rest of the house. Not too far away is another Coca-Cola mansion known as Briarcliff. Built in 1922 on a 42-acre estate in Druid Hills, Briarcliff was the realm of Asa Griggs Candler Jr., the second son of Asa. He had helped his father in the Coca-Cola business as a young man, but later drifted into real estate development and high living. In 1910, restless with in-town life, Asa Jr. moved from Inman Park out to a rural tract north of his brother's Callanwald estate. There he established Briarcliff Farms, a working farm where he raised cows, pigs, chickens, and grew produce, all with modern methods like electric lights and even individual drinking fountains for the livestock. Between 1920 and 1922, the Briarcliff mansion rose on a hill off Williams Mill Road, soon renamed Briarcliff Road in its honor. Designed in a Georgian Revival style with white column porticos, the sprawling house eventually featured 67 rooms, including extravagances few could imagine. After making our way through the front door, we step into the entry hall, where a grand staircase looms towards the back of the house. In a mansion with so many amazing rooms, it can be hard to find a starting point, so let's just bounce around this one. We'll start with the music room, one of the largest rooms in the house. Not to be outdone by his father and brother's pipe organs, Asa Jr. installed the largest home organ in Georgia, a cathedral-scale Aeolian instrument with 88 ranks. This cavernous space can play host to hundreds of guests whom we can imagine mingling about in the height of Roaring Twenties fashion. Of special note, we'll take a closer look at the delicate relief work featured both on the fireplace's upper mantle and on the wood paneling, admiring the sheer artistry that decorated this colossal room. And not to be outdone by himself, Asa Jr. placed a barrel-vaulted solarium at the other end of the house, which we can imagine being filled with potted plants year-round. Grandeur and elegance were sought out in even the most intimate of spaces, with a gilded dining room for smaller get-togethers, and a bedroom fit for royalty for him to retire in at the end of the night. And of course, the Candler story wouldn't be complete without Lucy Beale Candler, Asa's only daughter, and the splendid home her father built for her. Lucy was doted upon by Asa, and when she married, he gifted her a mansion named Rainbow Terrace. Completed in the early 1920s on Ponce de Leon Avenue, just down the road from her father's own Druid Hills estate, Rainbow Terrace was a striking departure from the Tudors and neoclassicals of the neighborhood. It was designed in a Mediterranean Revival style, a sun-kissed villa in peach-colored stucco with arcaded loggias, red tile roofs, and lush gardens. The architect was G. Lloyd Preacher, who also designed Atlanta City Hall, and he gave Rainbow Terrace an air of romantic European elegance. For Lucy and her husband Henry Hines, a prominent banker, the mansion was meant to be a dream home. Yet Rainbow Terrace's history took a dark turn. In September of 1943, Henry Hines was unalived in the home under mysterious circumstances. The official story was that an intruder, a burglar, got him, and indeed, a household servant was convicted of the crime. However, rumors swirled in Atlanta society that something more scandalous had occurred, even whispering that a relative might have been involved. The truth was never confirmed, and the tragic incident cast a dark cloud over Rainbow Terrace. The family had a couple other homes, including Lowwater House, a secluded Tudor Gothic revival mansion in the neighborhood. This was the estate of Walter T. Candler, Asa's third son, who built the home in 1926 on over 185 acres of pastures and forest, complete with stables for Walter's racehorses and a private 9-hole golf course for his enjoyment. The youngest Candler's son, William Candler, also left his mark in brick and stone. In 1918, William commissioned famed Atlanta architect Neil Reed to design a mansion called Resthaven on Springdale Road in Druid Hills. Resthaven was an elegant, classical revival home with a white column facade and meticulous gardens occupying 2 acres near the Druid Hills Golf Club. For a time, William, who was involved in financing Atlanta's Biltmore Hotel, enjoyed this luxurious abode. He lived there with his wife and children, engaging in the social affairs of the 1920s alongside his siblings. Each of the Candler mansions has followed its own trajectory. Callan Castle, after its restoration, now quietly sits as a private residence. Asa Candler's Druid Hills house stands sturdy as a church. Callanwald welcomes thousands of visitors a year as a public arts center, marrying the Candler artistic patronage with community education. Briarcliff, awaiting renewal, reminds Atlanta of the fine line between extravagance and folly. Yet even in decay, it finds purpose as a filming location and an object lesson in the importance of historic preservation. Rainbow Terrace adapts to modern life as condominiums, proving that even jazz-age luxury can be repurposed for contemporary needs. Lowwater House carries on as a seat of leadership and a verdant refuge on a busy university campus. And Rest Haven remains a private residence, its classic beauty cherished by those lucky enough to call it home. In the span of a few decades around the 20th century, the Coca-Cola dynasty rose, flourished, and then stepped back, but not before imprinting Atlanta's landscape with these remarkable residences. They are mansions with stories of a fizzy drink that created millionaires. And with that, I'll turn it over to you. Which of these homes was your favorite? Let me know down below in the comments section, and while you're there, make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an exciting episode of This House.